human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan. I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sogata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O supreme amongst humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who are wise, then I prostrate. With pure bodies, formed supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, flame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With supreme signs, face like a spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Thus 3 like you, the 3 worlds are not, incomparably wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you, the one gone to thusness, I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime reality, to the Dharma that pacifies, I prostrate. Those who are liberated and also show the path to liberation, the holy field qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you, the sublime community intending virtue, I prostrate. Homage to the Supreme Buddha, homage to the Dharma refuge, homage to the great Sangha, to all 3 ever devout homage. To all worthy of respect, bowing with bodies as many as all realms, atoms, in all aspects, with supreme faith I pay homage. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions. Do your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud, the conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all seeing, subdue the foul faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. Page 15 for the Heart Sutra. I prostrate to the Arya Triple Gem. Thus did I hear at one time. The Bhagavan was dwelling on massive Vulture's Mountain in Rajgriha, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Bhagavan was absorbed in the concentration on the categories of phenomena called profound perfection. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Abhigachavara looked upon the very practice of the profound perfection of wisdom and beheld those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Then, through the power of Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Abhigachavara. How should any son of the lineage train who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom? He said that, and the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Abhigachavara said this to the Venerable Shariputra. Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom should look upon it like this, correctly and repeatedly beholding those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Form, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form. Form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are emptiness, without characteristic, unproduced, unceased, stainless, not without stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no odor, no taste, no object of touch, and no phenomena. No eye element, and so on, up to and including no mind element, and no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance and no extinction of ignorance, and so on, up to and including no aging and death. and no extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation, and path. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Sharaputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and dwell on the perfection of wisdom, a mind without alteration and without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the endpoint of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the three times also manifestly completely awaken to unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment in reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the unequaled, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering should be known as the truth since it is not false. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is declared. Kayata Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhisoha. Sharaputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, should train in the profound perfection of wisdom like that. Then the Bhagavan arose from that concentration and commended the Bodhisattva Arya Avalokiteshvara, saying, well said, son of the lineage. It is like that. It is like that. One should practice the profound perfection of wisdom, just as you've indicated. Even the Tatakas rejoice. The Bhagavan, having thus spoken, the Venerable Sharadvaraputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara, those surrounding in their entirety, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised at spoken by the Bhagavan. Page 25 for the mandala. Saji poke cheng me tok tram re rab ne yambadi sange shingu me te o ye jogun nam da jing la chil pa sho jetsun lama dampa kinam ki jogu gala ken se chen jing Jeda sam doje sin mala zake choke cha pa bab tu so Eram Guru Ratna Mandala Kamnaryatayami Sange Charan Sange Charam La Jacho Baru Ragni Kapsuchi Tagi Chunyenge Peso Namki Drolap Denchuk Sange Dropasham Sange Charan Sange Charam La Jacho Baru Ragni Kapsuchi Dagi Chinyenge Paiso Namke Jola Pinchu Sange Drupasham Sange Charam Soge Charam La Jancho Baru Ragni Kapsuchi Dagi Chinyenge Paiso Namke Jola Pinchu Sange Drupasham.
Kulungi simba chirwa shimbengi da shimba pinsim ki samba danda nando chunye di susu jigwe tanda mayimba danda kadin chi simje tamje la pimba bashi dwaya chi dine chudi nyingi yu samje kulung yabu jesho sirwa.
Directing our intention, conjoining it with the beneficial intention, thinking one will listen to this holy Dharma not just for oneself, but solely for the benefit of all kind sentient beings.
Oya tanga manzo tiri nyandi lejik chwe yangyajik tuyi chunga di kuba yabu yin chenje ni kawa gongo resira.
To hear this Dharma again is a good opportunity, so rejoice in that.
야, 다, 다, 네, 시dem반이 기나네, 동반이 있어야 돼. 시기를, 동바서야 돼. 동반이 있어야 돼. 네, 저지 포바 동바로, 강바 동바, 모라 동바서야 돼. 내가 동바만 레스라.
Mm-hmm.
동반이 일해야 돼. 네, 그, 뒤에 동반이 있어야 되나. 포바 되는 취매자네, 취동아이자, 전신이 동세라. 근데 말했어. 공원이 이동. ngô gì tông bà lệ tông bà nhị su tông bà hồ xa tông ra ngô đi nè khurang cái ngô khurang đem bà chú về tông bà ngô khurang đem bà chú về ngô mà chú bà
Mm-hmm.
đi xa về rồi
We've been looking at the two truths and also looking at emptiness. When we talk of emptiness, we're not talking about the fact that a cup, house, or a car is empty. For example, a cup being empty of water. We're talking about tombani, which means the entity of the object is empty. It lacks true existence. So the entity of the object, for example, form, is emptiness.
제가 동반이 시대 ngô tông bà spe khurang ngô đi nè đem bà chú về tông bà ngô mà rê 시대 ngô khurang nè thân đam đem bà yim bà rồi ngô đem bà yim bà 아니 동반이 배낭 거랑서 숙도지가 차샤나 숙동바서 배나 탭도지 차샤나 탭동바에서 탭동바다 탭동반이를 쳐가지고
Mm-hmm.
그래서 네 탭동반이래서라데 탭부팅기 체주 타도 탭포랑 뭐디 아니 덴바마토레스 탭포랑 뭐디 덴바드베 동아레스 탭 제가 탭 배낭한저 탭 미다버레스 그래
Mm-hmm.
탭 미다버디 탭부팅기 체주로 체주지로 탭 뒤제 탭 체와 탭 미다버 탭 시자 니 탭 지야고 도자세 아주 상고 체주로 대대나시 탭 동반이 있을 탭부터 내로 타도 되네 파타도나 텔레타도 왜 내로 타와지 체주 타도지다 체주 타도지를 거의 있나요? 그래서 거대하면으로
Mm-hmm.
어딘지 상당히 있나요? 뭐 어디지 섬는 코리아 된데 그래서
Mm-hmm. So tongpa ni, this ni, the entity is lacking true existence. So the entity of the object is that it lacks true existence. So for example, if we talk about form or a book, there's a difference between saying empty book and the book is emptiness. So here, when we say the book's nature is emptiness, that means its final mode, its final characteristic is that it lacks true existence, or it's empty of true existence. So the book has all these other characteristics, such as book's impermanence, the fact that the books are compound, what the book expresses, the book is good, the book is bad, but books lack intrinsic nature, books' emptiness is its final characteristic. It is good to think about that, something to think about.
그래서 답이나 간상 그 다음에 슬라인데 간상 딩 동반이 라데 그래서 간상 다도 투와 매월라인데 덴버 투와로 칸라 되메지 네 간상 지기요 말레스
Yeah.
칸라 되메지 간상 지 다지요나 데 다도 투와레스로 그래서 티요 말레스 다 매바스라인데 간상 그 다음에 올라데 어제 간상 다음에는 간상 매바 차도 그래서 간상들라 간상게 다데 요마레스 이나 간상 요레베스나 요레스도 간상아서 간상수도 미 빼는 거라서 미 요르바 미 미겨와 미시와다 말아서 미기고 미하고 네지 단예디 여러 그지 링 단예라야 뭐라 이나요 근데 간상 나디 미디네 유제 망보지라 되네 투된 요즘이지 유제 라마데베 투된 요지 요마레스타드죠 samladana ne susula ratwe samladama inarwa ta samlamadama che tik zamji kana dot chana ne kodyondo da simnala chodo da simnala jigda kal ji samladana kale khabu cha sonye sore jimishi yomare ta samlades tangrwa ne susu moyne juda susu sing samladana ni kal kyawa khare me samladana de 내단으로 이제 갈래갈래 마마 라트브데 다들 오늘 dembarashasro demba좀 내대 네 때내 총이 몇 준진지 때내 뭐 총어디 요 말레스 나베야데 dembarasha사네 심 니시니에다 다티 뒤나네 지 동에 망고지 세트를 펜더여라
Mm-hmm. So when we come to the non-self of persons, the person's lack of true existence, then what we're saying is there's no non-dependent person. If there was a non-dependent person, there would be a self of persons. So the person lacks a truly existent self. But would we say there is no person? No, we wouldn't go that far. We would say, yes, we can say there's a good person, a bad person, a person that's born, a person that dies. But we understand that in light of the person being dependent on many causes and conditions, not being non-dependent. So it's a little bit hard at first, but if you think in a reasoned way with the words and through your contemplation, the way we think, slowly one comes to that conclusion, one comes to that reality, and one starts to understand what Shakyamuni Buddha meant when he said everything is dependently arisen, therefore nothing is independent. So just deciding on that then gets rid of lots of suffering straight away.
다단다 담에는 니 간사 담에다 쳐 담에 니 요체데 간사가 담에세데 지시 간사게 되는 데마트에 동안들라 간사가 다도 마도 인자 네 단다 간사 담에스타디 다도 오면 튕기외 다도 시고래 봐 니가 러시아나 다데라 쳐 담에데 간사내 신배 쳐 먼저 적제당 강바당 치 추당 리당 그 데마트에 동안데 네 쳐 담에스와
So then we divide the lack or the non-self into two divisions, the non-self of persons and the non-self of phenomena, from the perspective of Prasangika, or middle way, or consequentialists. The non-self of person is dependent on the basis which makes up the person, and then anything other than person differentiated from that basis. So for example, we have books, mountains, cups, cars, and so forth. These are the lack of true existence of phenomena.
that the Tamil Yawa Nichena, Katadami than should Dami Yawa Nichera. That in it, Tamil Yawa Shishin, Chuk Tamil, Tongmani Ni, Tongmani Shirwa. Tongmani Shi Yawa Chendi, a Cheshi Chiu, Cheshirwa, the Cheshi de. Chö 탐제 대전 니난 두두두 간산단 chö나나 두두고래 다 chö 탐제 대전 시나나 두두두 아니 대전 시대 딩 동반이 시에는데 아니 동반이 시 동니 동반이 시 시거데
So then we can, in terms of emptiness, we can talk of the two, of the lack of self of persons and phenomena, but then again we can expand that into four emptinesses dependent on what phenomena is being examined by way of its characteristic.
동반이 시 동반이 주고도 하대 동반이 좁게 동이 니시
So this will be under the wisdom, I think, where it goes into
이게 계속
Yeah. Selfnesses of phenomena.
Mm-hmm.
72, yep. Four emptinesses. Emptinesses.
70, not 68, not those four reasons.
계속 참 다른데.
Is it the essential opposite gaining the object of negation, the essential opposite gaining of infinite?
No, it's not. Sorry, that's my mistake. It's page 32. Yeah, so it's where we left off when Geshe was going over the ultimate truths. So it's before conventional truths on page 32. When further divided, there are four emptinesses.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
내가 뭐고 동반이 알아.
yeah,
내가 개발 채나세도 뭐고 동반이 뭐며 동반이 와.
yeah.
라시 동반이 신중고 동반이다. 동의시 있어도 돼.
good.
어디 제한테다 뭐고 동반이 있으려는데 하나도 두제 뭐고 담제 동반이 이라시 이르 동바스. 뭐며스도 따봐도 싫어.
Yeah,
뭐며스. 라시 동반이 있으되 라다 신이라 라시 동반이 신중고 동반이 란중고 동반이 신중고 동반이 뭐보에나 라다 신이 들어오라. 이제도 될어야 네. 돈이 시대 여치다는데 캐시다 돈이 시세로 돈이 주도세로 상관이 캐시권에 시하는 거라.
yes. So here, the four emptinesses are set forth in dependence on what's being examined as the basis. So the first one is the emptiness of functioning things, and then non-functioning things. The second one will be the category of permanent phenomena. And then there's the emptiness of, it was explained as self another, but you could say the emptiness of the nature and the emptiness of the entity. So that's four.
다지네 돈이 주도라.
Yeah,
난 동반이 속 주도스도.
yeah,
난 동반이 주도스도 제가 난 셈이와 셈.
yeah.
셈기 심기기 되게 최대라 난스. 심기기 되게 최대라 난스. 심기기 마디베 최대라 치스와. 아니 난 동반이 있으니 심기기 되게 최 셈다. 아니 류 먼저 옹보도서와 옹보도 심기기 되어라. 들라나 대다라지 되게 동반들. 난 동반이 치동반이 있으니 나 숙소 치료기와 치료지. 이라고 간이 나서 왔다 동반이 지난 동반이 나도 치다나니가 동반이 가서 옹보대 옹보. 그래서 미가 옹보져라. 미가 옹보디 지난이게 쳐래라. 나그 동반이 베긴데 가서나 뭐 셰웨 심바레스로 시규 심바레스. 시규 심베긴데 가래라비나 아니 옹보데라 페네르데 람상 뭐에서 소화디도 깨도가 간사들라. 와. 그래서 포바디 차베 있는 람상 소화 때도 말와 포바디. 와. 그래서 옹보미가 옹보를 텔레준나 람상 차기도 알아. 이거 옹보를 카브로 주는 람상 나도 당거도. 아니 지금 남시 장모로 지나 장아디 차기도 돼 옹보들라. 네 나가 옹보에 매균인데 시규 있음 말해서. 시규 있음에 된데네 가르스나 철 페네도나 소화도 타니. 다 치초인 매균데 가르스나 옹보데 속이 매쳐서 속과. 아 셰발레 심베 속디 셰와 말아가지고. 제가 지난 이게 쳐야 돼. 옹보를 잡고 옹보.
So then we have, for example, divisions of emptiness of inner and outer. And in the inner category, there are said to be non-kazuyori, chutuk, 16.
돈이 주룩디 여와체인데 나동만이 치동만이 지나동만이 다 등등의 돈이 숨쉬어야 돼.
Yeah. So this division into 16, we're going to include mind, and then outer and inner, and both inner and outer. So that means 4 categories. In the mind's category, you would put everything that's related to the consciousnesses, such as probably the 6 primary consciousnesses. And outer emptinesses would be those categories like mountains, trees, and so forth. And then inner and outer are like the sense faculties, observers, because, because of the sense power, they're connecting the outer to the inner, if you will. So like dust in the eye, it is the faculty experienced by the sense house, but it is a case that you know that, and it's the same with feeling cold and so forth. Whereas when a cup breaks, a cup can't feel. So that would be an example of outer. So the outer emptiness is like everything other than consciousness.
디 저와 디도긴 수쿠나라 디도이 왜게 말다. 콜라 템바다 뇌베 저와도디 아니 간산라 저와 디도는 스케트 마드샤. 탄다 데샤우라. 시주이 심베 된지여와. 난게 베나 홍보디 최제 난게 최 임베 김제 가래스 나라와. 시주이 심바레스 김제 데레다. 홍보 김제지 어느 시주 있으면 되는 거래에서 라인데 아니 신도 계속 니와들 얘기 없다.
신도 계속 니봐.
이제 니와들 가래라나 콜라 편의도도 콜라면은 남산 초와도 깨트게 하시고라.
Yeah, so the fact that a cup can't feel, it's kind of talking about whether something is conjoined with consciousness or not. Because if something is conjoined with consciousness, like a sense faculty, it has the ability to help or harm.
되네 시바디 네 동반이와 다당도 숨도 살다. 돈이 시바디 동반이 라데. 나 동반이 라데. 가발라 고래라면은 빼낭만서 동이 든지수기 또 용거라. 동이 든지수기 또 용데 아니 된대게 동이 든지수기 때문에 똑바되게 돈이 거나 아니 야 템버트와 주는 게 봐. 그래. 똑바선자 똑바라 가나단지 심지에 먼저 수수지와 선제라 가나단지 템버트 오는 거라고라. 내가 돈이 되면도 왜 똑바된 거라 돈이 돼 템버트 오는 거라. 나는 동반이 돼 템버트 와도 말아와서 동반이 코나 템버트에 동아라. 코데워시는 동반이 코나 템버트에 동반인자 안 동반이 코나에 되고다.
So the emptiness of emptiness, before realizing emptiness directly, one does it by means of a generic image. At that time, whilst focusing on the generic image, the ordinary person, things will appear to be truly existent. But when freed from that generic image, there's no longer that clinging to that, that thing's true existence. So that itself is empty of true existence, or the emptiness of emptiness.
나도 내 전부 동반이 있어. 다 거대하시는 먼저 전부 써야지니 여러와. 대름 데모드에 동반들라 전부 동반이 있어 봐.
Chimbo. And then there's the great emptiness.
네 망아와들이다.
Yeah, chuchuk nangla e.
주룩 다는 주룩 쉐고다. 주룩네 네 망아와들이다.
Dinangla chuchuk mata mendu.
당가 쉐고 지난데 말이 되나요 말.
Okay. So yeah, the great emptiness. Yeah.
망아와들이에서.
Yeah. The first one is the great emptiness.
다 두 가지 된다마도 많이 봐.
Sixth is the emptiness of ultimate.
된다 봤어야 돼. 돈이 민남셰지가 된담 봤어야지 여러.
Yeah, it is almost like a synonym of emptiness as well, isn't it? Ultimate truth.
네. 근데 된담 봤으려고 이제 먼저 된셔야 돼. 아니 돈이라자 담 봤어야 돼. 아니 돈이도 왜 파괴념샤이 시도들라 된담 봤어요. 디데모도 돈 봤어. 그러나 다다도 왜.
Yeah, so the meaning of this ultimate meaning is that in the face of an Aryan meditative poison emptiness, there's appearance of vacuity. That is the ultimate meaning of emptiness.
다 둠바디 뒤제 동반이 있어. 다 뒤제 하고 그러면서 뭐 뒤제에서 뒤체와 아니 레뇽 온게 계신 뒤체와 계직 집에 뒤체와 개와 뒤체와 뒤제 동반 먼저 뒤제라도 뒤제도 둠마치 뒤제 또 둠바디 뒤제 동반이 있어.
The seventh is compound, which we all know, that which is born out of either like karma and so forth, causes and conditions, and then, different from non-compound.
아 예버디 두마체 동반이 두마체에서 딱 봐도 두마체라 누들라 데데마르 동마선가 두마체 동반이레스 예버디
The eighth one is dumoche, which means non-compounded phenomena, the emptiness of that space and so forth.
아 구바디 탈레데베 동반이 있어 탈레데버스데 그래서나 타메 탈레데와 여러다 탈레데와 먼저 샘진 탈레데버레스 연된 탈레데버레스 시저 탈레데버레스 장가메 계저 탈레데버스 그래서 동반이 탈레데버
And then there's the emptiness of no limit, or gone beyond limit. There are limitless sentient beings, the one can't count, and qualities of mind.
구바드레스
That's the ninth.
아 주바디 통마다 탐마메 동반이 있어 그래서 말하면서 통마다 탐마메 어디 가셔 그래 셰바치 봐 먼저 셰바 셰바세야디 통마디 내디네 중얼이 나요 말에 셰바세야디 탐마디라 조그레 세요 말에 셰바 통다 매가 유도 거라 안 뒤제 다 그래 뒤제 정말 속도 정도 근데 잠블링 뒤제디 통마디 내 중얼이 나요 말에 탐마디라 조그레 나요 말에 내가 규어도와 되게 저와 여러 것이 지잠들라 통마 잠블링 뒤제 두시기 뒤도 저게 통마 되네 중얼이 나요 말에 아마 되네 매우 차로 나요 말고 윤토제 다 규어도 그래 상상라 잠블링이 네 뒤된도 저만도 배나 단다지 슈구 뒤된도 상상라 바 슈구디 메다 잡 이네 루이잡 야 신도나라 칭 싱도 뒤된차로 야 싱도는 아주 미산이 미 뒤된차 야 미디시네 야 메다져서나 산나라 차 사드네 추나라 차 뒤된데 가서 골라 유도거라 그다음 디즈니 조여라 통마다 담아내 와서 뭐네지 다다 리고다
And then there's the 10th one, which is the emptiness of beginning or end. We could say consciousness here. We can't say when consciousness began or when it will end. So, and we can say similarly for like particles, for example, that there's no beginning or end to them. We can say at a certain stage of their evolvement, they go through change, but in terms of them being a continuum, we can't point to a part of a particle's continuum and say this is where it began and this is where it will end. For example, some paper is burned in the fire and becomes ash and then becomes fertilizer, or a person is incinerated and becomes dust and then becomes water and so forth. It's actually quite beautiful when you think of it like this. It is, no beginning and end.
먼저 수분한 게 제도도 상상을 도차로 상상을 추차로 상상을 매도차 상상을 튼두고 류차로 근데 먼저 류파지 제만용고 매든 여러지래도
Yeah, and when our bodies break down, the particles sometimes become rock, sometimes water, sometimes a flower, sometimes another animal. There's probably nowhere they haven't been.
다디니 그들의 주바티시로
That's the
통마다
10th.
다 죽직디 돌아와면 동반이 돌아와면 돌아와면서 돌아요 말. 다 산제지 공마다 개와 6개월 채울 되어서는 돌아요 말하고. 두즈래다.
Next one is the emptiness of not being able to destroy something. That Buddha said from virtue comes well-being, and so that can't be destroyed.
내랑 친이 동반이. 랑 친이 동반이.
Junyi,
그래서 도와면 동반이 가서 주지 차선아.
yeah.
랑시 동반이 중니 랑시 동반이.
So number 12 is empty by nature.
조선의 최탐제 동반이라 최탐제 동반이
13 is
어디보다
the emptiness of all phenomena.
주시대랑 신이 동반이 대화 거대보다라
14th is empty of characteristics.
미미베 동반이 미미베 동반이 미미베
중화에.
정화베 미미베
The
동반이
15th one is emptiness of reference point or non-referential.
미미베 가르마 미고라서는 담바드베 미게 menjo 담바드베 또에 menjo 또
Yeah,
담바드베 체메 또에요 말아
yeah.
그래서 미미고라서지 최탐제 체메 미고라 니나의 가르마 미고라서는 아니 탭데 담바드베 임바디 체메 또에요 말레스 어디 담바드베 동아레스
Yeah, so, all phenomena can be designated, but they're empty of reference points. So this is this emptiness that,
근데 주로버디 ngomewe ngoni 동반이 있어. ngomewe ngoni. ngomewe ngoni ten시잖아. 두마제 다다고도 샤쇼라. 그래서 ngo거나 덴버드에 동물에스.
and then the 16th is the entity or the nature of like compound things being empty and so forth.
다 돈이 주로 되셔라.
Those are 16 emptinesses.
다 내가 돈이 접게 셔라. 돈이 접게 해라.
And then there are 18.
다 주부래 먼저. 다 주로 가는 가르쳐 버려잖아. 돈이 주로시도 와. 돈이 주로되거나 ngomewe 동문이다. ngo니 동문이니나 아니 돈이 접게 차로 그랬어.
Younger.
ngomewe 동문이 와. 동문이 네 주변 차서 ngomewe 동문이. 아니 접게 된 ngo니 동문이 있어.
So then those, we could say emptiness of no thing, and then emptiness of entity is 17 and 18. So then that can make 18.
다 돈이 니슈자인데 단위 돈이 주로되거나 동부 돈이 시지와. 어디에 잡나 아니 돈이 니슈스도 셈창하게 거다.
And 20 is when you take the 16 categories and add 4, make 20.
어디에 깔레카가 되게 잘다. 동문이 깔레가 보다라.
That's the difficult part of the lesson about emptiness gone.
돈이 있고서 갈래도 가고 요르들래 때에서 상무당도는 딱 기생한서 셰어나지 뭐 지금 미다고 삼나요 왔다와 가상 아예 미다고 뒤제 미다와 미다고 주어도에 준진 미다고 대 주어도 거래 주어도 인자 미다고래라 주어도 가래도도 서와 이 담배 도마준네데 이 셰샤세야다 고물로도 이 손샤세야로 제르머친 손샤세야로 아니 얘들 진대날 라고도 세 된대만 이마체로
So then in that context, it is good to think on I, oneself, and compound things, and think on their impermanence, but also why do they change? That they change for a reason was stated by Shakyamuni Buddha, Nagarjuna Lama Tsongkhapa, and it kind of like said so in the Dharma class. Well, no, not because of that. Because you yourself think on it, you have to think on your conclusion.
This emptiness, my understanding of emptiness is a single entity of emptiness. So surely all these 16 and 18 and 20 are terminological divisions, like the conceptual isolates of emptiness. So wouldn't there be infinite emptinesses?
Is that your question?
Yeah.
So Morangla,
This is a single entity.
yeah.
The terminological division.
Sila Jana, Sila Tendu Tongni Yorba, Sung Sang, Chuchuk Tang, Chubge Tang, Nishu Tang, Morangla, Chu, Tan Mebre, Tan Mebre Yansang, Tongni Tan Mebre.
네.
Hikurangi point.
그거 돈이 타면 그래. 돈이 이나야 돈이 뭐를 쳐야 말해. 이나 단다 돈이 동반이샤야, 동반이 시차야, 주루샤, 접제샤, 뉴샤도
Yeah,
제시죠라. 최탐제 최 뇌용도 니나나 가산다 최니나 뇌로거라.
yeah,
야 드네파 자세르도 신나는 뇌로야. 드네파제도
Chuchuk.
주룩체잖아. 드네 뉴시난 뇌로야. 근데 뭐가 제 중앙 제대시도 가와이나 자다 제 뮤디레레가는 돈이레레 열어
Yeah,
이나 딘데 당가 잡즈 매베인다 고 디자인 알아 저도 체시디 디자인도 서대 담바도 동버스 이나야 페나 소그딩 동반이다 셰베딩 동반이다 켜와야마 동반이 노래 지고지 냐 이나 체시메 동반이 진짜 이 시지요 봐 시딜라 아니 찍디 가사레 찍디 쳐레스
Yes,
가사디 루시아와 쳐레스
yeah, that's correct. As many as there are phenomena, they,
원래 저거디는 저 라고 있어.
Yeah.
무슨 얘기예요?
so the question was, there are these divisions of emptiness, 16, 18, 20, but emptiness is like the kind of negation of the phenomena's intrinsic nature. So therefore, as many as there are phenomena, there will be emptinesses. So these are just, the ways of naming things.
It also is a single entity.
Correct,
These are
Yeah.
terminology.
correct.
So can I ask him a question?
No, he's not answered it yet.
Oh, he did.
No, no.
I didn't.
Answered it. Anyway.
No, I didn't interpret what Geshe said.
Oh, okay.
Do you want me to say what Geshe said? Linda, call me do something.
내가 뭐나 해보다네.
Geshe says, if you don't want to hear the answer, it's fine.
Pretty senior. That's excellent.
Okay, so yes, the entity of emptiness is the same for all of those phenomena, but what is differentiated here are the basises, right? So you have the base of 2 divisions of person and phenomena, the base of 4, the base of 16, the base of 20, right up to 84,000 of different types of classifications. For example, form and consciousness, the emptiness of those 2 is the same nature, but the basis upon which we're classifying them differs. So yeah.
그래서 동반이 촬영 안 하죠. 샘진주의 심 동반이다. 산재주의 심 동반이다. 이거야 말이라.
Yeah, it is said that we can't demarcate the difference between the emptiness of a sentient being's mind and the emptiness of a Buddha's mind.
미 체시디 저하는 거. 저 심디 되자니 뭐 시단게 tum리고. 산재 심디 되자 시단이 뭐 매디죠 선다. 체시디면 다 신소라.
Yeah, but it is different. It's differentiated by the basis or the characteristics. So the minds of sentient beings have desire, have attachment, has aversion, but a Buddha's mind has abandoned all those. So it's like the differentiated in the difference.
Your question.
Yeah.
Believe
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. Okay, so the second question then, taking book as an example, emptiness of book. Okay, so then we burn the book disintegrates, it's burnt. So the emptiness of the book just simultaneously disappears. So, so that emptiness of book was just a mere label, a mere conception, a mere label or a mental conception, because it just evaporated back into emptiness when the book disappeared.
Is that your question?
Yes.
Ah.
So it's just merely labeled emptiness of book. That's the question. Because when the book is burnt, the emptiness simultaneously seems to exist.
So what was the question again? Sorry, I missed it.
So if the book, does it follow that the emptiness of the book is merely labeled a mere conceptual isolate, mere
Mhm,
conception, emptiness of book,
Mhm.
if you like, the mere label. Because when we burn the book disintegrates.
Mhm.
The emptiness of book is also just disappears. It's just non-existent anymore.
Mhm. So the question was, emptiness of book is a mere conception or mere label, because when you burn the book, the emptiness of the book also disintegrates.
Yeah.
So Gisela, the book it into Tongni the kasa Ming Sam talk by tak sam ra karisana book yeah karisana deputy deputy sena dep member sena then deputy into Tongni and member Tongni.
예, 책을 했어요.
Yeah.
그러라. 근데 제가 그래서 선은 당 거라서. 예, 제가 대 매우 참 메다다나 탭팅 동만이데 되기였다. 탭 동동이 따버리라고 하라. 그래서 대 매우 참 탭 동만이 매우 차로 그러는 아니 탭팅 동만이 됩니다고 차로다가 다이나 디 컨데스도 그래라데 탭디 직사래로 이나는 심나라야 양자 진대겨 탭디 진지 탭 템버도 지어리 진대겨 아래 심나라
Yeah.
진대겨 아니 대주 탭 템버도 지어리 삼데 탭고랑 오 템버도 여 말에 탭 마다단 직사랬다 라용도 제가 탭 매버 찾아내 탭 등지 동반이디 대여와디 가르딩 거에서는 먼저 치즈 탭 템버도 지운데 아니 탭 등지 동반이 거기는데 탭 템버도 되면 덴지 매버 찾고 있다 이 가르딩 거에서는 코페 유 탭 등지 동반이디 대 공배 떡이 매우 잘하면 지금 왕저 매회 취지를 민네 대 녀몬을 내게 말 시선 등상하는데 공자님 뭐시 제로 공제 대제 제라 미지 녀바도 차도더라 그래서 네 가르된 거에서는 네 제로 공배 계정 말아 동만이 있어야 돼 태국된 거 동만이 돼 탭 메다 단산에 태국된 동만이 여와 되게 두제디 그 치수 공내 양자 공기에 되어 싫어 알레 공내 근데 공바자 마세 대 공내 되는 녀몬라 갑자기 자두고요 셔럽 예두고요 어디게 태국등 동만이 대대요 어디 두고요 그래서
So the emptiness of the book, for example, although the book has been burnt and disintegrated, the empty nature that is the book has not disintegrated, because emptiness is a permanent state. And if the emptiness of the book were to disintegrate, then you'd have to say book's emptiness was impermanent. So the book is gone, but we cling to that book as if it was still truly existent. But the book is no more. The book's true existence is destroyed, but if we can think on how when the book is burnt, that what is destroyed is our clinging to its true existence, then it's very useful, because these days people apply a lot of antidotes to harm the afflictions by taking a non-existent thing and thinking they're getting at the afflictions, like meditating on zero. But you need this understanding of the lack of true existence to get at the afflictions.
That doesn't make sense, Gisela.
How's your opinion with it?
Because if you say we burn the book, but the emptiness of the burnt book still remains, that's untenable, because that means you're saying that the emptiness of a non-existent object, that emptiness of a non-existent. So I appreciate that this emptiness doesn't disappear because emptiness is a single entity, but the emptiness of this particular book must disappear.
Isn't the book actually open?
Well, that's what I'm saying, the whole thing.
Kurang
is just a mental
depth
label.
depth
The whole thing
can
is-
do.
It's not like.
Tomba.
Even the emptiness of
태국 띵도 태국 띵이 동만이 태국 띵도 겨야 돼
Yeah, Mari, Kurang depth ki tongba di. What you're saying, it doesn't go away.
Well, I'm not sure if it was your translation or if Gisela said it anyway, but the word said the emptiness of the burnt book still remains, but that's not.
Yeah,
can't happen.
depth sina,
That's
then a
an
depth ki
existence.
ting du tong ni Kurang.
That's an.
Kurang tak farwa.
네
Depth me yomarwa.
여마라
Depth ki tongba di.
음.
Ne de yore yamane
네
mero.
네 열
Yeah, The emptiness of the book
Tip-
stays
tip-
when it's
tip-
burned.
Pena.
Well, that must be emptinesses of every single thing ever that we could even conceive of, like rabbits, horns.
You talking about it?
elephants in the room,
That-
every
that ain't
little
one
thing
thing,
is
man.
a big elephant in the room.
It's not like rabbit horns.
It must be. What's
No.
Tip 열어. Tip 열이 싫어. 니 talking about it? 니 talking about 김생 talking about it?
Yeah.
Well, I've got to this because you mentioned the book. The book is made from wood, so that's, when it burns, we get carbon dioxide. So if you're talking about space, I mean, the gas is in space. Is space
예.
non-existent and empty?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so
it's all.
depth is thinner than the depth 그럼 toward the number 도그러 봐도.
그래.
이는 남가 두면책이 number 그럼 동반이기로 봐도.
응.
Yes,
두마치 난가다. 두마치 난가 동반일이 겨워야 돼.
yeah, but there is a difference between space and atmosphere, we would say.
두마치 난가다. 두마치 난게 캄라 겨워야 돼.
Yeah,
두마치 난게 캄디 동상게 바지 내가 진이시도 와.
yeah,
이 난게 캄래. 먼저 뒤에 캄샤야 뭐다.
yeah,
디 뒤제샤고라. 두마치 난가라나 야 두마 딱 봐라. 대대야 여와요. 대라 여와쳐.
yeah, there's a difference between non-compounded space and what we generally call space or atmosphere. Because what we generally call space or atmosphere, we can use it and pass through it. But for the latter one, non-compounded, that's, we can't like pass. through.
안다디 뒤제 아마 부건난게 캄스니 나나 뒤르고 라고라.
Yeah,
안다디 모던 시리게 라고도 알아. 뭐만 나고 라이디나 정말 팀도 그러와. 그래서 낭박에디 쉐거라. 난게 캄세. 난게 캄디 최단제 중 수용사대 대래 파두사대 되는 뒤르고 라고라. 다 동반이래 다가나. 동반이대로. 그러나 단다디 디교요 말 빌바당 저는 이거라고데 탭식 탑에 있네 탭 동반이 레데라고 탭 넘버 2가 동 레데라 탭식 나라 니마시나다 탭이 유단 전라되네 총어래 레고 라디 유단 전라되네 총요 말아라 아니 유단 전라되네 총요 인자 그 유단 전라되네 매외 차요래 근데 유단 전라 마드베 탭식 요 말이있어 하나래 탭 동반이 있어야 돼 유단 전라 마드베 탭식 요 말이있어야 돼 탭식 나다 마시나다 탭셔야 돼 유단 전라 마드베 탭직 요마레스 유단 전라 때네 중에 탭직 요레스 탭식나리 탭마지나리 탭요나리 탭메나리 케게 요마데로
yeah. So coming back to that question of the burnt book, well, whether it's burnt or not, the book lacks true existence. And because the book is a product of cause and conditions, the book is produced from causes and conditions, whereas the rabbit horns are not. There's a difference there. So whether or not the book is produced, whether or not the book is burnt, and when the book is burnt, that emptiness remains.
But there's no book anymore.
The couple of dip yomari, dip maybe a couple of,
요나 디갑라 요고 말어
yeah, but you don't have to have a book at that time.
요로 탭 요로 이나 요나 디네갑라 요고 말어
Yeah, there is a book, but at that time there is not.
So the book is future and got an emptiness. You're saying that the book in future, the future book, which I don't know about, the emptiness of the future book that I don't know about yet, is that something?
Akaraga. TDMB.
칼라스 라라 딘닌자 케엠 디고테
The Maungba dip, the call it Tony.
디 마음바 탭 동반이 마음바 동반이 대외 동반이 뒤숨이 동반이 요로
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is that, because there's emptiness of future, present and past.
음
Mhm.
예 말
No problem with that.
다들 삼무단다 칼레가래 당무선의 천자를 삼무단에
Yeah, they're good to
Yeah,
reflect on, and they can be a bit strange to think on.
야 우리 삼무단
But it's very good to think on.
최담제 심 선제냐래 최담제 심 선제래 동반이 대주고 말해
Yeah, all of that is the same, and it's not just talking about the emptiness of the book or phenomena, conventional phenomena.
예, 파상로 요거다나 sim ge so shin ju yan yan me shi yo ma da.
Yeah, you know, you can't say anything that's not, in a sense, product of mind, perceived by mind.
Oh yeah, that is one.
Any more questions?
다음서 군소 덴바도 인다. 군소 덴바라.
Let's go through now conventional truths.
군소 덴베 탄다데 기신 셰차로. 군소 덴바네 동반이 마인베 진예외 최다다라 세로 인슬라도.
Yeah,
군소 덴바사데 네 기승한서 디임바. 로 직된베 다음 타녀벌 주베 로네 타녀벌 로르스 직된베 타녀베 로 군소베 몰라 덴데 인자 군소 덴바스로. 로 전담바데 파원냠샤 신샤 딩올라 덴바즈나 전담데바 동만이체 아 군조베 로 파원냠샤 신레 신베 로 군조바 뭐나가 똑바당 두두 상마라 두중올라 덴덴조 최들라 디중올라 여덴조 최들라 니 군조 덴바스 다 코데베셰위나 내가 그 직배 두덴조 최들라 군조 덴바 타도 무베넬로데라 전담데바 슬랍샤나 아니야 세우차로라.
yep. So conventional truths, last time when we were looking at ultimate truths, we did touch on them. A conventional awareness is an awareness that is involved with its objects of worldly terminology or conventions. An object explicitly found by an awareness is a conventional truth. And so, you know, these things other than emptiness are so, except for Aryas and meta equipoise on the profound, like for all other beings who perceive things with a, you know, in a conventional way, kind of conjoined with mental constructs. An easy way of describing it would be that, you know, the relative truth is like the temporal nature, and then the ultimate truth is like the final mode of the nature.
야 제가 기승한서 능주의 내주 미튼바데 군조 덴바라 샤종 딘닝지보다.
Yeah. And then it's quite eloquently put that when there's a disparity or a discord between the way things appear and the way they are in final mode, that's relative truth.
다디 베제나니 탄다셰와데 다디 만아저 초초응어가나라. 단다 능주의 내주 템디시아로 내가 글로응을 두버리시아로 도저 초응어가나라 상무단에 뱀 상무단은 편도신부 빼요로.
Now, in it is good to relate it to our lives, how we can look at the way things appear and the way they are in their final mode, in terms of when we interact with phenomena in the kind of temporary phenomenal world.
베나 말한저 쇼베야라네 건다 마녀사와 말한저 셈나라 암저 미지기 지지 발라발라 비오로 야 수수직 통된 조로 지지 지연한 딜라 데직 수수모네로 레틴지로
Yeah,
아니 딜라 이지로 체제 아니 내주 두자르지 암저로 거베나 다데 두자 시르지레스 아니 삼바 마기오로 차 야 미지기 내주지 야고라지지 암저로 거베네 아 야고라지레스 아니 수수 나와딜라 능주딜라 아니 이지체 아니 먼저로 디도키 되고라 뭐네시나 먼저 능주디게 돼 수수 셈게 찬나지 레데 여러면시 뭐이 내줄라 알레 군족 언데 체네 거라 내주 가리 때문에 하고 야면도 제가 이 내주 만들고지 거에나 아니 감사 할래와 두자 쉬우지 인베 나와지 셔야 되나 이 레섬제 이지 치고야면도 데스만 흘러 도인데 아니 지 내 나자라고 수수 파마 빈자 부르던데 내 나자라 지거나 담보 멤버 직직 멤버 직직 대셔로 직 잡이는데 다다베 선인나니 시도서를 삼삼 싫어 그냥 멤버 신다지는데 아 된대라 말해 고민지 지에 열을라는데 아니야 된대 멤버서 싫어 아니 맹가라 친 선인나니데 선인나니 미드 마시베 제제 야 단도 타로 스토데가 아래 니주다 뒤제 이제 제가 멤버직 자타고지 셰비네 람상 이지치가 되면도 그런 시에다다 그런 하고 저지 라용고라 뭐네 내가 그런 내다한테 가래야 내 신경을 당해서 그래서한테 내 대단 대답에 내주 먹고지 맞아 생각나게 그래서 능주 지고 말라 이지 제대로 되는 등원에 덴바를 되나 아니 되게 심나는 동이 쉬울서 거라 근데 람상 말에 말아먹어시 안돼이나 따제 지인스러워 디지 샤는 흘려체위나 카도들로 수수 세모마토야 아니 파발레도 뭐에네주디 계산시에나 시기네주디 디링 멤버도 오지 코인데 아니 내주의 교도다 상당한 그런 교도다 네 강아서 제스 시스템나 디도 동에 좀 봐야 되는데 가요 라요라 팬도 실수도 하더라
And that reflection we do in our daily life on this, the way phenomena are from morning till night, is very important. The people we talk, the people we see, that we interact with, and then we think it's real. Because if someone says something upsetting to your ear, you reflect on it and you feel upset. If someone says something sweet to your ear, you reflect on it and you think, oh, that's a good person. But these are just simply appearances in your mind. We can't even get the relative truth level correct. It would be better upon hearing things to not at once react, go extremely overjoyed or extremely downhearted, either way, but stay a bit relaxed before we conclude what we hear. Like when someone gives a sick person a diagnosis, you go to a doctor and the doctor says, oh, you've got a few days to live. And then you seek a second doctor's advice and the doctor says, okay, well, you might have a few days, and then that person keeps living and then they heal. So sometimes we can't even believe what the doctors say, or we're dependent on what they say and their knowledge. So rather than being downhearted or suffering straight away, not at once believing these things we hear, but having a kind of relaxed, letting it land, having a relaxed analysis, and going back the next day, and when you come closer to the situation, one sees that what was yesterday has changed today. And that approach can have a tremendous effect on the mind in terms of happiness and suffering in our life.
나도 돈을 가잖아 먼저 쉐발로 난데로 덴바도 나인 거다 근데 콜리스 따라
Yeah, yeah, and then our consciousnesses, it just thinks things exist truly all the time. So where does it leave us? Isn't it?
오늘은 덴바도 나시 메로다
But really, things lack true existence, even though they appear as true in reality, isn't it?
난 오늘이 잡로데샤 니 신다지가는 거를 잡든지 싫어
Yeah, we've left the reality behind and we're following some mistruth, some deception going round and round.
예전에 두주다스 처음으로 가는 사람들은 팬도 문에도 알아.
Yeah, so in this life, when one thinks like that, it can really benefit us.
다들 나 군조된 배 이어와들라고 인다로 봐. 대한 이어와 제월 채나스. 아니 다 디레도 한다디. 맞으면디 왜?
좋아?
저 뭔가 저는 그러면 인얘기 있어요. 너무 저는 공단结果 저기 좀 풍부지지 간이다. 군조된 말라요나 풍부가 계제 중이 감쪽게 사든데 엉봉아서 근데 여러 다도 셰도 당보들은 풍부가 시기도 하는데 계제 중이 시기도 하는데 감쪽게 시기도 이해도 아직 도시나 디나라다 이 세우도 하나.
So now expanding on the divisions of conventional truths, page 32, set forth by Vasubandhu in the Treasury of Knowledge. There are divisions such as the 5 aggregates, the 12 sources, the 18 constituents, and so forth.
공단세의 풍부시기로
Rewa?
풍부세의 수투마 풍부라 풍부세라.
Yeah.
그래서 니 될어야 풍부 풍부가 수 뭐서요 뭐 뒤집어 남시 풍부 시제네 풍부가 대시고로.
So a heap is when you have like a collection of factors brought together in a bunch, in a bundle. So you can have like a heap of form, a heap of feelings, a heap of discrimination, a heap of compositions, and a heap of consciousness, like these 5 aggregates.
풍부들라 아니 풍부에 나네 담보 수 풍부들라야 아니 여 주체고라 미원서 나가 옹봉 나 수제 타왕 알아봐
Mhm.
미고 옹봉나 뭐좀 루기 옹봉 같이 아니 지 수다 디로 렉던 같이 될라야네 아 수봉봉 아직제가
So looking at first of the five aggregates form, there are 10 consist of the five internal physical sense powers, such as the eye, sense, and so forth, and the five external forms, sounds, odors, tastes, objects of touch, making 10.
다 될라 넘버 이제 많이 배수세 되니죠 넘버 이제 수다 넘버 이제 많이 배수시 넘버 이제 많이 배수스라는데 담ung에는 넘버 이제 수스나 카레라고 했나 넘버 이제 수세데 먼저 속 미그 토하에 요체 토하에 요체와 배는 하나서 미지 계제세단지 컨트롤사는 남상 그 계제세단다 동그남 귤데 미디 컨트롤사 통구도 알아 어디 직 통구도 입지 통구도 미디 컨트롤사샤 계제 계제 마시에는 미디 남규다 들릴때네 아니 미디 컨트롤사 신기도 데 근데 아니 데라와데 넘버 직수 야데 도가라체 야가를 차이잖아 근데 이걸 장주 셈다 닝지단 데요나 그 때도 처음에 레스팅 류가 남규를 깨지 세단을지 미비저고 동일을 삼단다도 빼대거나 셈나로 처리해야지 미 통화상 이지려야죠 아니 어디 넘버 직수스 넘버 직수스야 어디 되질라고 여러스
In non-revit, making 11, this last one, non-revelatory forms, when you see someone getting angry, they talk and then they get angry, you can actually see their face change and their shape change due to that. That's on the negative side, but in a positive way, someone that has cultivated bodhicitta, when they are seeing someone suffering, they have great compassion, and you can see the results of that bodhicitta is one of these types as well. Feelings.
다 넘버 이제 많이 배수라는데 아니 미게 토에 메디 요기 수지 샤브라 베낭한조 단다스 toda tomba wa tomba tu samba ani nal me shu na shi su bu na ma thoya me de yo che wa thoya me de yo su ji sha go yor tomba tu zere number je ma be su sa de tomba su yin se ora
And then the non-revelatory forms. Sorry, that first category was the revelatory ones, the ones you see. But the ones you don't see would be, for example, when you take vows and they're abiding in the body.
na tomba kejik thangbo de number je su che kejik niwane number je ma be su cha ro re la
Domba denza
thangbo de tomba thome de mi de lu o tomba thwe ta thya yor ba 아니 이번에 통해요 말이야. 수분은 추나라 치마치만 나지 팀로라.
Okay.
나머 이제 많이 봐서
So when one takes a vow, in the first moment they're revelatory because a change does occur in the body, but then in the second moment they're non-revelatory, like a water bubble into water.
다들 저 팅듀기 체리베 그들라 숙스 타니 지금 말이다. 와, 나도 낭베 숙스 타니 지금 보면 체리베 숙스 타니 지금 말이다.
Yeah, so these type of revelatory and non-revelatory forms probably wouldn't be accepted by normal science, but this is Buddhist science.
어디 숙죽직 샤나 텐데 샤고라. 와.
Yeah, so that's form in 11 categories.
다드네 니와 초와세야디 뇨. 너 두저식 셴에 와라 뇨라데 가서나 이제 구조 저어서는 뇨라고요 말해. 뇨라데 데둑게라. 야메나 동에 야메나 대와 야메나 당용게야게. 이페 뇨아이들아 아니 초와스진라고요.
So feelings, not just the fact that there's like movement, but this has to connote either pleasure or displeasure or neutral.
다 초와들라이나 초와대와 초와동에 초와당용 대체기도 하잖아. 예와 숨쉬라.
So there are those in the feeling heap. There are those three of pleasure, pain, neutrality.
아, 저와 두시 단 소금 소금 두시 봉고 두시 있어야 돼 아니 참아진 바로 아 봉고라 똑바단 줘봐서 똑바단 줘봐단지 똑바행원에요 디 아무래도 두자레스 여시야지 여러와 디 뭐래 둥다르지 중물에 자첨물에 생든데 여시야지 여러와 아니야 똥이 있어야 돼야 똥매군에 두시 제 여러와 참아진야 여러와 두시 참아진 봐서
because it talk me in it, Tong Nicole.
말마 돈이 말에 동매에서 똑바만 이게 원시에는
원시,
미가
예.
원시에 동매로 동매식으로 이게
Sorry.
미 원시 이게 두시체여라 참아체여라 들라고
So now, in this third heap of discrimination, there are two types, conceptual and non-conceptual. Conceptual is when one is thinking it's good, it's bad, and so forth, discriminating like that. Non-conceptual would be when the I consciousness perceives it.
데레라야 아니 중무다 전부다 체매가 숨든데게 여와요 레스와
Yeah, each of which also has three types, small, vast, and limitless.
다시 와들라 두지 풍부세요 두지 풍부실의 시엔스데 수구 풍부 초의 풍부 두시 풍부 남시 풍부 실의 시엔베 아니 풍부들라 아니 두지 풍부세요 레스
Right. So the fourth one, compositional factors, everything other than form, consciousness, and discriminations.
딜라이나 아니 충전 두지다 충전 마인베 두지스 충전 두지스도 초와다 두시 마인베 아니 또베 심중들의 여러 띵인진다 셰랍다 나 되자다 컨트롤당아 예도서 어두도 샤고를 그거
Right. So the associated compositional factor aggregate consists of all mental factors, with the exception of feeling and discrimination. So concentration, wisdom, all of those sorts of things.
네 심중이 막 간식라 초와다 두시 마인이 두스 상말에다
So, yeah, all of the mental factors, leaving aside feeling and discrimination, are in this heap.
총대 마인베 디제사데 풍분이 데미디지 주실라서 그래서 데미디지 주실 시에는데 다디나라 베나가라서 디즈레 베나 투다와 투다 간사 나라서 미드죠 아니 데미디지레데라 어두도 샤고라
And then the non-associated compositional factor aggregate consists of 14 non-associated factors. These are things like time and person or human.
나라서 간사디 두지 풍분나라 두베디 시에버다
So then we should know that the person is included within this aggregate when we kind of, yeah.
나도 내가 남시 풍보로와 남시 풍보서야지 아니 이기 남시들이 와 두고 이기 남시라데
The fifth aggregate consciousness refers to the sixth, from the I consciousness through to the mental.
그 남시 풍보들라 미기 남시네 이 남시바 남시에서 조심지어와 남시 풍보라윈데다 아 미기 남시 나외 남시 남시 루이 남시 이기 남시에서 남시 두여와 어디게라야네 디샤
Yeah, so that aggregate of consciousness, like a main mind, or those six consciousnesses from I through to mental.
다디 풍봉아디 심으시 대단데 어저단다 셰르닝고나데 풍봉 아니스 그런 산제지고 뭐더 두고요나 아니 풍봉아라신을 따오래서다 다디게 참마 안데 베제나 셰드 예 상마란저 류나라 윤교전야르데 이 시에 제들라는 아주 되게 류트머니샤 소트머니샤 심트머니샤 최트머니샤 트머니샤 시도와 어디 곰나 아니 다다 시그르 말아서서 다디 더 디풍부 디디제 여와치 아니 구멍하고 딜라데네 아니 간사서야 가서 스튜딩 좀 하고 어디 비윤네 지 곰자디 시야기 시제 남자 류트머니샤 따연데 류이라신라 따 류이라신의 풍부 소풍부 따는데 류이라신 데마마마 템도데 아니 저와디도 야디 두시 담아질드네 아니 용구여 봐라 테마 두시디 마마마마 팀르데 남시 용어라 마 팀르야 된대 제단디 참만예샤 시디 따다지 풍봉내 주름나네 따다 로덴지지어를 대도 yung jatuna ya wero.
And in the Heart Sutra, where it states that if one wishes to attain to the state of Buddhahood, one should thoroughly examine the five aggregates in nature. And this correlates with the four close placements of meditation on body, feelings, mind, and phenomena. So first, then one can understand these faculties such as feelings and how discriminations come from feelings. So one will start analyzing, thoroughly scanning the body, and then analyzing its entity and attributes, and then feelings. And dependence on the feelings one has through the body of pleasure or pain, pleasure or displeasure, one starts to discriminate. And when one analyzes those discriminations, they're coming from consciousness. So then we start to see how these four close placements of mindfulness gradually grow in steps, from gross to subtle, in dependence on the five aggregates and related to them. Yes.
Oh yeah, that didn't. 동니 시 동니 주로 동니 조비에 동니 뉴슈 그래서 장가로지 마지 틱톡이네 선남 시험사 그래도 근데 네 부모가 공부스나 그래 부모가디 가르가르래도 다디제디 범자여 다 당국 군족이 남샤도 들어 상담도나 네 야고여래 군족 상담은 신이 된다면 상담이 뭐라.
So today we went through those different categories of emptiness, 2, 4, 16, 18, 20. One creates a lot of merit if one is just able to enumerate them, and then the five aggregates, to meditate on them in the context of what each one is, what each skandha or heap is, in terms of relative truth. And then once we have an understanding of relative truth, we can start thinking about ultimate truth.
Oh yeah, that is how.
We'll stop thinking.
Yeah.
Was the 16 emptinesses the first 4? There was the inner, the outer for the missing one. Was the fourth is emptiness and emptiness, isn't it?
Inner, outer, and outer together.
Yeah,
Inner is
inner
one,
is the first,
outer is the second,
yeah.
and inner and outer together is the third.
I don't know what it's empty.
And what was the fourth one?
Emptiness of emptiness.
No, emptiness of emptiness.
Don't want you double check.
Double.
Yeah.
Just some more question. So this was great grandmother. Your great grandmother, Kishore. She had hair. So is the emptiness of her hair still existent?
Yes.
Why?
Kirangi, Geshe-la's great grandmother's, the emptiness of her hair, is it still? Not
the mola the Rashi to Tongba, the Rashi Matuba, the Euro.
The lack of true existence of my great grandmother's grey hair still lacks true existence.
Why is it doing this?
Because it was a dependent arising, or was not a not dependent arising.
But it's gone. It's not non-existent right now.
Tanda yoga marwani, you know.
Oh,
You know, Tanda yoga Euro.
it doesn't need to be existent now to be existent.
You know, Tanda yoga in the Channel Tanasho Kala said the Yomarino, Tanda Yomana.
If that was the case, then the food you ate this morning would have to be here now.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, it's just an imaginary thing at this point. I mean, it's just
Isn't
an
it?
imagination, because your grandmother may have not have had grey hair. She might actually have had brown hair. So we're just imagining the grey. So what's the difference between that? Imagine up
Did
here.
you make Pakwasat? No, how would
When you are an Arya, you will know.
Did you have oh yeah yeah
Then you-
yeah
you go, oh, Geshe-la's grandmother's hair was like that.
When imagining the colour of your grandmother's hair and imagining the colour of an elephant.
Imagination이 도구난다 됐다야 말해.
Yeah.
Imagination 타야 때문에 말해.
But imagination's not trustable. It's not a valid type of cognition.
Exactly, so there must be the.
왜 파고 찾아서 나 가득 통구라 하고 그래. 똑발라는 거 이제 지금 말해라. 아래.
When
When we're Aryas, we can believe, but because we are doing things by way of these mental constructs and images, they're not
그런데
believable.
안사문에들 아니면 도구 파고치스 파고 산제 파고 사탕 못 하고치스. ene 안사상으로 아연 그래. 오 야야야.
The answer to that question is when you reach the first bhumi of an Aryahood, and you'll go, oh, it's all like that.
Oh yeah, that is yeah.
It's Dogma.
Page 31, Portland morning. Raji, closing just name, from Rera.
Sanje Shingu Mete Wadi, Nanda Shinla Jobala Shomi, Ojera Denshin, Nanda Tele Choju Jeva Kami, Losan Tembe Tomi Sas, Tove Mese Dado Yuchi, Angora Dradya Kami Yatayami.
We can American action of smoke, we obtain the state of good order. And we all be beings without exception into that life of state. When supreme jewel body she gathered as long as in the race and rule. And make that which has arisen not of the but free form of one. Without the slight possible potential and that created by that knowledge operating knowledge in our faults. Rejoicing and wasting that the good state and teach. I now dedicate all those to the full awakening. I dedicate all the truth to virtue with dedication, praise and to this. By the return ones outside of the 3 times, that I might perform the mental body self-esteem. With the end of Dharma, some couples way of Dharma practice and flourish. May the hundreds of obstacles be pacified, and all conducive circumstances be complete. The wish granting, wish fulfilling jewel, so of the new and simple benefit and happiness in this world. The drink of rattling pints and backsliding siege. May all your wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. Save from the snowman teachings and thanks by greater beings. Who makes extremely clear the path of the unification of emptiness and compassion. The Lord of solitude and backslide of siege. May all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. You who uphold the securest moral way, who serves the faithful bearer of all. Sustain the preserving and spreading the general victory doctrine. We must play accomplishment and prayers honoring the 3 jewels. Saviour of myself and others, your disciples, please let me return. For I love the 2 enumerations of myself and others in the 3 times. May the teachings of the conqueror of Sandra God blaze for and on. And Ramadan prayer on the particular sheet. We'll try and put that one on. Yeah. Here is the teacher of the children of Victoria from the shroud and the waters. Victoria's lost and violence. All the objects of refuge and infinite ways, please the soul of virtue, goodness and accomplishment. Holding and spreading the most precious and complete things. Through explanation of practice, incomparable and whilst referencing what you mean to say of the plant's teachings, the soul gateway through which all benefit and happiness emerge. Inform us the godly commander of these one great loss. Near the mystery and unseen truth of the blessings of the fortunes and 3 jewels. And the great waves of body cheater of the children of victorious ones. May the smile of the incarnations of me make them more for fortune and
Good night. Some